Hi everyone, this is Gavin from gavinsgadgets.com. Hope you're keeping well. Today I'm going to review the Honor 6A, go through the camera, I've got a camera showcase for you, talk about the audio and sound quality, so let's go and check this out. Okay, so we're going to take a closer look at the Honor 6A. So what you get is the standard folder here for all the Google bits and pieces. That's quite handy. You've got the Play Store, you have YouTube here. So just listening to the speaker for a second, and if I play, and I'll turn the volume up a bit, it goes quite loud. It does sort of fraction distort at the top volume, but actually it's quite nice that it does go loud. I plugged some headphones because you've got the headphone socket there, and it sounds not too bad. And you've got a special mode when you put the headphones in that you can boost it to make it sound a bit better. So most people paying, sort of sub 150 for this phone will be pretty happy with the sound. In terms of this screen, it's a 720p screen, and I am pleased to report when I was wearing my polarized glasses, there were no issues in terms of seeing this and using it outdoors. So if we carry on, if we scroll through, up here we've got the phone manager. You've got loads of different themes that you can install. You've got the music application if you want to have your own music, and you can have a whole gaming suite where you can control the various different games, and that's quite a nice little touch if you're into your games. You've got a health app so it can track your steps built into the phone. It's not bad for this sort of price point. Obviously your clock, it's all sitting there. I'll go through the settings. It's got their own files, notepad, email. Facebook's pre-installed, which is quite handy, as is these two other apps as well, Instagram and Booking. You can delete those and remove those. You've got weather. You've also got quite a nice touch FM radio, torch. So it uses the flashlight, compass, backup, so you can store various things. You've got SIM toolkit because you can put 2 SIMs in here, and High Care gives you various other options in terms of the sort of backup side of things. In terms of the rest of the phone, this does have a pre-installed screen protector, which I noticed, so you're not going to end up scratching the screen inadvertently. It's a 5 megapixel camera at the front and 13 megapixel camera with flash, and this is a metal bodied phone. It's very nice looking phone. I'm sure this will sell really well. If we have a look at the toggles, if I pull that down 1 second, that's it going. You can see you've got the various different toggles there. You can edit those as well, and you can adjust those as you like. You've noticed there were a few other options that you can include in there as well. So you can have a mode for the ultra battery, your torch, floating dock, mirror share. The floating dock is having these floating keys around the screen. Eye comfort, so you've got a nice night mode for reading, and that's quite handy, and so forth. So that works very well. Now I'm going to jump into the settings because there's a few other things that this comes with EMUI. So I go down to About Phone. This is, it should say EMUI, which is 5.1, and that does include a whole host of extras in terms of functionality. And this has the 5th of July security patch. This is 2 gig of RAM, Snapdragon 430, and it's not a bad little phone at all. So in terms of, if you look at memory and storage, it shows you that there's free, half of the storage is free out of the 16 gig. You can put a micro SD card. So the way it works is on this side here, you can either have 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and a memory micro SD card. Right, going back into the settings just very quickly, you have dual SIM settings here, and on one SIM you can have 2G, 3G and 4G. On the second SIM you can have 2G, and you can turn that on and off, and you can have the different selections between the default for mobile data and so forth. What you can also do, bring that bit in here, it might be easier, is there isn't any NFC unfortunately, but you can do tethering and the hotspot. You've also got the various home screen styles, so you can have it with an app drawer or without. I personally prefer it without, to be honest. On the display, you can change and have the eye comfort, and you can put a schedule on for that as well, and you can change the color temperature. So if you like a more warmer display, can you do that from here? No, that's when you have the eye comfort, sorry. Font size, you can change that. That's the one I wanted, color temperature. And here you can adjust how you want, or you can actually select your different default color. And you can see the screen goes a bit better. Actually, let's have a look. I quite like the default, that seems to be quite nice. And you can have auto brightness as well. Notification and status bar, so you've got various options here, and you can have options for the battery. I've got it at the top. Navigation keys, you can change and have different layout here for these buttons down the bottom, which is very handy. And the special screen lock and password, extra security. So I'll just show you those. So you can have various different options from smart unlock as well. On the security and privacy, you can have file safe, and that simply allows you to encrypt photos, audio, videos, and other bits and pieces, which is quite handy. And app lock, again, pretty self-explanatory. It's got a virus scanner as well, just in case. You've got your Huawei ID there, various permissions. You can set different permissions. You can control the battery. So you've got ultra power saving mode, that gives you 5 days worth of coverage, and you can drop the resolution as well to try and save battery. In the advanced settings, you've got simple mode, and there are a few other bits. I seem to have skipped them somehow, so it's probably in the display. Let's have a look. Actually, Smart Assistant, here we go. So you can have a floating dock. So here it shows you can have this floating dock and put it on the screen. That's quite handy. You've got motion control, so you can do flip to mute, double touch to turn the screen on or off, and draw a letter to open certain apps. And the obvious one here is C for camera, and it shows you some options down there as well. All fairly straightforward. Schedule power on and off, that keeps the phone nice and fresh. So it literally can turn off at night and come back on in the morning, say at 7 AM. And touch disable mode as well. So all in all, there's a whole host of different bits and pieces, but what you want to know is what's the camera like. So I'm going to jump into the camera. Now, as we're looking at myself at the moment, you'll notice that there's a beauty mode here, and on the beauty mode you've got complete control of it. When you first set it up, there's loads of different options as well, and if I scroll here, you can actually see the different modes that you have when we're on the front, and the resolutions as well for the front, showing 5 megapixel. You can do perfect smile, mirror reflection, loads of different options, capture smiles, white balance. So these are all just the options for the front side of things. But if we rotate the camera and just have this here a second, and might help do that. And on here you've got various filters. But what's really nice about these is that you can select a filter you want for your photo. You can tap here and you can adjust the intensity that you want of the filter. So you've got really good, even though it says here normal 9, well there's 9 different options including the standard. You can fine tune it, you can do your beauty mode, your flash. If you swipe here, you've got all different resolutions, GPS, camera grid, timer, audio control. You can use voice to take a capture. You can do smiles, touch and hold, shutter button for burst, ultra snapshot. So you can either double press the volume down to activate the camera, or double press to activate the camera and take a shot as well. I recommend just double press to have the camera on only. If you go this other way, you've got all these different modes. You've got pro photo, video, HDR, panorama, audio notes, document scan. But if you go, for example, into pro photo, you've got the auto white balance, manual focus, exposure. You also have the shutter speed as well, and your ISO and metering. So quite a comprehensive, for considering what this phone costs. That's really quite impressive, sorry, for the actual different options there. And again, you have some options for video as well, so you can fine tune your videos, and you've got pro video mode, and you can turn HDR on and off. I'm going to show you some video and some photo samples, a little showcase. I was very impressed by the quality of the actual photos. This is just a quick test of the front. What you can do is another sort of optional is if you go into the gallery, if I pick a photo here, this is a photo I've taken completely in auto. If you go to actually edit the photo, there is a whole, turn it around this way, it might be easier, there's a whole suite of options from cropping to splash. I love, you can do different filters, there's quite a few filters, they work really well, but there's also splash. So this takes it to literally black and white, and then you can literally tap an area, and what it should do is put the colour back in on that particular part of the photo. Let's just do that again. So this isn't the best example because George is quite a similar coat colour to the grass, but if you had a red letterbox, that would work really, really well. And then you can do these sort of all sorts of things. So you can do an illusion where you can have the linear, you can move that down, have the blurring, loads of different options there, and then obviously you've got the fine tuning to adjust it. And then you've even got, you can do mosaic, graffiti, watermarks. I mean, you can put labels on. So here you can put weather, and you can add all these different captions on, food, sports. The list is absolutely endless. So what I need to do is just take that one off for a second. So you can do all sorts of different options here, but you can also put sort of labels on. So if you want to Instagram it, and you can move that around and stuff like so. So plenty of options and a really comprehensive sort of editing app. So where does this leave the Honor 6A? Well, I've got to say this is a beautiful phone. Whilst it doesn't have the NFC, which is something I've spotted, it has everything else, and I think this will fly off the shelves. It's a lovely phone, takes really nice photos, has a reasonable sound quality as well, which helps. Has the headphone jack, and all in all is very good value for money when phones are getting more and more expensive. Anyway, this is Gavin from Gavin's Gadgets. Please leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys soon.